Have you ever looked at your mama or your daddy, the very people who raised you, and thought, something's not right here, but the minute you try to bring it up, you get hit with that brick wall? I'm fine, I don't need any help. Let me tell you something. You are not alone in this. This is a conversation happening in millions of homes all across this country. A silent struggle between the people who love their parents and the parents who are fiercely and sometimes stubbornly holding on to their independence. It's a tough spot to be in, feeling like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, wanting to do what's right but getting nothing but pushback. Now let's get real about what's going on here. This isn't just about them being stubborn, though that might be part of it. This is about fear. It's about dignity. It's about a lifetime of being the one in charge, the one making the decisions. And now, suddenly, the tables are turning. For you, it's about genuine concern, about seeing the warning signs they might be ignoring. You see the mail piling up, you notice they're not eating right, or maybe you're worried every time they get behind the wheel of that car. You're living with a knot in your stomach, and that's a heavy burden to carry day in and day out. The problem is, good intentions aren't enough. You can have all the love and concern in the world, but if you go about this the wrong way, you're going to create more conflict, more resentment, and you're going to push them further away. You might even damage the very relationship you're trying to protect. This isn't a battle you can win by force. This is a delicate negotiation, a dance, and you need to learn the steps. You can't just barge in and say you need help and you need it now. That's a one-way ticket to a family feud, and nobody wins in that situation. You have to be smarter than the problem. So, what we're going to do in this video is break it all down. We're not going to talk about theories. We're going to talk about real-world, proven strategies that work. I'm going to give you 7 specific, actionable steps you can take to open up this conversation in a way that's respectful, compassionate, and most importantly, effective. We're going to get you out of that cycle of concern and rejection. We're going to give you the tools to talk to your aging parents, the ones who insist they don't need help, without starting World War III in the living room. It's time to stop the madness and start communicating. When it comes to tough family conversations, timing and setting are everything. You wouldn't propose marriage in the middle of an argument, so don't bring up sensitive topics when everyone's stressed or distracted. Pick a calm moment, when everyone's relaxed, maybe a quiet Sunday afternoon at home. Choose a private, comfortable space. Not a crowded restaurant or over the phone. Give your full attention. Turn off distractions. Approach with warmth and respect. Invite them into the conversation, don't force it. Remember, it's about collaboration, not control. The right time and place can open doors to real understanding. And one of the most powerful ways to communicate with your parents is by using I statements instead of you statements. It's the difference between pointing a finger and opening your heart. You statements sound like accusations. You never eat the food I bring you. That puts people on the defensive. But I statements focus on your feelings. I feel worried when I see you skipping meals. This invites empathy, not defensiveness. Practice turning your you statements into I statements. It's a simple shift, but it can transform your conversations and deepen your connection. When your parents start needing help, it's easy to rush in and take over. But nobody likes to feel like they're losing control. Their home is their kingdom, and they've been in charge for decades. So, honor their autonomy. Don't take over. Be a supportive partner. Ask empowering questions, not directives. What would help you feel more comfortable at home? Validate their choices. You're building trust, not taking over. That's how you become their ally, helping them live life on their own terms. All right, so you've learned to validate their autonomy. What's next? You gotta find the common ground. Right now, it might feel like you and your parents are on opposite sides of a battlefield. You're on team safety and practicality, and they're on team independence at all costs. You're never gonna win if you stay in those trenches. You have to get out of the foxhole, walk to the middle of the field, and find the goals you both share. Because I promise you, they are there. You just have to look for them. Think about it. What do you both want deep down? You both want them to be happy. You both want them to be healthy. You both want them to be safe. You both want them to continue enjoying their lives, seeing their grandkids, working in their garden, or going to their weekly card game. These aren't your goals or their goals. These are shared goals. The problem is, you've been so focused on the conflict, the how, that you've lost sight of the why. Your job is to recenter the entire conversation around that shared why. The secret is to stop talking about the help and start talking about the outcomes. Stop talking about bringing in a caregiver and start talking about having more energy for hobbies. Stop talking about selling the house and start talking about living in a place that's easier to manage so there's more time for family visits. You're not selling the process, you're selling the result. You're connecting the dots for them between the thing they're resisting, accepting help, and the thing they deeply desire, a better quality of life. This requires you to be a bit of a detective. You need to listen more than you talk. What do they complain about? What do they miss doing? Do they mention that they're too tired to cook a real meal anymore? Do they talk about how they wish they could get to their book club meetings? These are your clues. These are the entry points. Each one is a shared goal in disguise. Your mission is to uncover these goals and then frame your proposed solutions as the key to unlocking them. Once you've identified those shared goals, you need to master the art of the reframe. This is where you take their perception of help as a negative, a loss of independence, and you flip it on its head. You reframe it as a positive, as a tool that actually increases their independence and freedom. This is a powerful psychological shift. You're not taking something away, you're adding something of value to their lives. It's not about what they'll lose, it's about what they stand to gain. Let's use a concrete example. Your mom loves her garden, but the heavy digging and weeding have become too much for her. She's frustrated because she can't keep it up the way she used to. The old approach would be to say, "Mom, you need to stop gardening, you're going to hurt yourself." The reframe sounds like this: "Mom, I know how much joy your garden brings you. What if we found someone to help with the heavy lifting just for a few hours a week? That might actually give you more time and energy to focus on the parts you love, like planting the flowers and designing the layout." See what happened there? You took the conversation away from her limitations and focused it on her passion. The help is no longer a symbol of her weakness. It's a strategic resource that enables her to continue her hobby. You've reframed the helper as a gardening assistant, not a caregiver. This same logic can be applied to almost any situation. Is driving at night a problem? A driving service isn't about taking away the car keys. It's about the freedom to have a social life and see friends in the evening without any stress. You have to get creative and tailor the reframe to their specific personality and values. If they value their time, frame help as a time saver. Bringing in some help with cleaning might give you a whole extra day each week to spend with the grandkids. If they value their energy, frame it as an energy booster. If someone else handled the grocery shopping, you'd have more energy for your afternoon walk. You are consistently and relentlessly connecting the solution you're proposing to a benefit they genuinely desire. It's not about manipulation, it's about illumination. People are motivated by two things: moving away from pain and moving toward pleasure. The reframe technique is all about focusing on the pleasure, the win. You have to become a storyteller. You need to paint a vivid, compelling picture of what their life could look like with this extra support. Don't just tell them it will be better, show them. Use descriptive language that engages their imagination and helps them feel the positive emotions associated with this new reality. Let's go back to your dad who's overwhelmed by home maintenance. Instead of just saying, "A handyman could fix the leaky faucet," you paint the picture. You say, "Dad, imagine this. It's Saturday morning. Instead of spending 3 hours wrestling with that leaky faucet under the sink, you're sitting on the back porch with your coffee and the newspaper because the handyman already came on Friday and took care of it. The house is quiet. There's nothing on your to-do list. You have the whole day ahead of you to do whatever you want." This isn't just about chores. It's about their overall well-being. You can paint a picture of social engagement. "Mom, remember how you used to love going to the symphony? I know getting downtown can be a hassle. But what if we had a service that picked you up right at your door and brought you home? You could get dressed up, meet your friends, enjoy the music, and not have to worry one bit about traffic or parking. You could have those wonderful nights out again." You're selling the experience, not the taxi service. The key is to make the win more appealing than the status quo. You have to show them that their current path, the one of struggling alone, is actually the path that's leading to less freedom, less joy, and less independence. The path you're suggesting, the one with a little bit of support, is the real path to preserving the life they love. By focusing on shared goals and painting a picture of the win, you transform the conversation from a dreaded obligation into an exciting possibility. You're no longer the bearer of bad news. You're the architect of a brighter future. Let's be honest, sometimes, no matter what you say or how you say it, you're just too close to the situation. You're the kid. You'll always be the kid. And your parents have a lifetime of experience tuning you out when they don't want to hear something. Your voice, filled with love and concern, can sometimes sound like nagging or criticism to them. This is when you need to realize that you don't have to be the lone soldier in this campaign. It's time to call in some reinforcements. It's time to bring in a trusted ally. A trusted ally is a third-party voice, someone your parent already knows, likes, and most importantly, respects. This could be their family doctor, a longtime friend, a clergy member from their church or synagogue, or even a respected nephew or niece. The power of this strategy is that the message is no longer coming from you, the worried child. It's coming from an objective, respected authority figure or a trusted peer. Their words often carry a different weight. They can say the exact same thing you've been saying for months, and suddenly it's heard in a completely new way. Think about the dynamic with a family doctor. Your mom might dismiss your concerns about her diet, but when her doctor, looking at her lab results, says, "Mary, we need to make some changes to your nutrition to keep your heart strong," that's a different ballgame. The doctor isn't emotionally invested in the same way you are. Their recommendation is based on medical fact, not just family concern. This can depersonalize the issue and make it feel less like an attack on her lifestyle and more like a sensible medical plan. The key here is the word trusted. This cannot be just anyone. It has to be someone whose opinion your parent genuinely values. Before you even think about involving someone, you need to do your homework. Who do they listen to? Who do they speak of with high regard? The goal is to find an ally who can broach the subject with both authority and compassion, someone who can act as a neutral mediator. This isn't about ganging up on them. It's about providing them with a chorus of supportive voices, all singing the same tune of care and concern. Okay, so you've identified a potential ally. What's the next move? You don't just send them in blind. That's a recipe for disaster. You need to form a strategic alliance. This means you need to have a private, preparatory conversation with this person first. You need to arm them with information and align on the message. You're not asking them to lie or manipulate. You're asking them to help you advocate for your parents' well-being in the most effective way possible. In this private conversation, you need to be clear and concise. Explain what you've observed. Use those I statements we talked about. "I'm concerned because I've noticed mom is having more trouble with the stairs," or "I'm worried dad seems to be forgetting his medication." Give them specific, concrete examples, not just vague feelings of anxiety. You also need to share what you've already tried and what the reaction has been. This gives the ally the full context so they don't walk into a minefield. Most importantly, you need to align on the goal. What is the ideal outcome of this conversation? Is it to convince your dad to accept help with meals? Is it to get your mom to agree to a medical alert system? Be specific. Then, brainstorm with your ally about the best way to approach it. They know your parent from a different perspective and might have insights you haven't considered. They might say, "Your dad really responds to humor," or "Your mom is very proud. We need to make sure this feels like her idea." This collaboration is crucial. You're creating a unified front, but one that is subtle and supportive. For example, you could ask the doctor, at her next appointment, "Would you be willing to ask mom how she's managing at home? I'm just looking for a way to open the conversation." Or you could say to a family friend, "Next time you have lunch with dad, could you casually mention how much your own parents benefited from a meal delivery service?" It's about creating natural, organic opportunities for the conversation to happen, guided by a knowing and trusted hand. Now, this is the most important part of this strategy, and if you get this wrong, you can do more damage than good. You must, at all costs, avoid making your parent feel ambushed or ganged up on. Nothing will make a person shut down faster than feeling like they've walked into an intervention they didn't agree to. This is not a TV show. This is real life, with real relationships on the line. The goal is to make them feel supported, not surrounded. This means you should almost never have the conversation with you, the ally, and your parent all in the room at the same time, unless your parent has explicitly agreed to a family meeting. The ally's conversation should happen separately and feel natural. The doctor brings it up during a routine check. When it comes to helping aging parents, gentle persistence is key. This isn't about nagging or forcing change. It's about showing up with patience and love again and again. Your parent has spent decades making decisions. Now, the roles are shifting, and that's tough for them. When you bring up help, expect some resistance. Stay calm, listen, and let them know your concern comes from love. Plant seeds, offer support, and keep the door open for future conversations. Gentle persistence means being patient, creative, and always focused on their well-being. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Sometimes the hardest thing is knowing when to back off. After all your efforts, your parent may say no, and if they're clear and competent, that's their right. Even if you worry, you must respect their autonomy. Taking away their choice can damage your relationship. The goal isn't to control every risk, but to maintain love and respect. Backing off means accepting their decision, but letting them know you're always there if they change their mind. Shift from trying to fix everything to supporting them within their boundaries. Focus on connection, enjoy time together, make new memories. Remember, backing off isn't failure. It's an act of love and maturity. Support yourself too, and trust you've done your best. Well, we've been through a lot here today. We've talked about some of the most difficult, emotionally charged conversations you will ever have in your life. We've talked about fear and love and the fierce, beautiful, and sometimes frustrating desire for independence that lives in all of us, especially in our parents as they navigate their later years. The goal here has never been about winning an argument or forcing your will on someone you love. The goal has always been about connection. It's about building bridges of understanding, not walls of resentment. It's about making sure your parent feels seen, heard, and respected, even when you're worried sick about them. So let's quickly recap the playbook we've laid out. These aren't magic tricks, they are tools of compassion. First, you have to. You don't ambush them, you create a safe space for a real conversation. Second, you own your feelings instead of casting blame, turning a confrontation into a confession of your love and concern. Third, you make it clear that this is about empowering them, not controlling them, and that you respect their right to be the captain of their own ship. These first 3 steps lay the foundation of trust. Next, you learn to. You're not on opposite teams. You're on the same team, with the shared goal of maximizing their health, happiness, and independence. You reframe getting help as a tool to achieve that goal. Fifth, you. Sometimes the message is better received when it comes from a respected doctor, a pastor, or a lifelong friend. It shows them this concern isn't just you. Sixth, you practice. You understand that no is often a first reaction, not a final answer. You keep the conversation alive with patience and love, not nagging. And finally, the 7th and perhaps most profound strategy, you. You recognize that ultimately, a competent adult has the right to make their own choices, even choices you disagree with. You choose to preserve the relationship over winning the argument, because in the end, that connection is the most precious thing you have. These 7 strategies are your guide. They won't make these conversations easy, but they will make them more loving, more respectful, and far more effective. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.